Alright, so this is my first YouTube video. It's currently 4 or 5 a.m. and I just wanted to give you a quick disclaimer. This won't be like one of those course videos that you probably never watched and you probably will never make anything out of them. It's real and it's not going to give you any dopamine hits, so that's why it's longer and it's without any fancy edits. So people expecting that can respectfully fuck off. Now, let's be honest. If you have zero commitment, you probably will never take action. And that commitment comes from investments on yourself or accountability. And my aim here is to create community of people who actually take actions because we severely lack people in that department, not just in our country, but everywhere in general. I want people who are looking out for themselves, who take what's useful, explore as much as they can, experiment, get some success, fail, and experiment again, and repeat the cycle until they make something out of themselves. And I want you to be one of them. So let's look at the scary word here: outreach, sliding into DMs, cold emails. If you're a freelancer, it's probably the one thing that you hate the most. It feels salesy, it feels desperate, and every rejection actually stings. Like, I still am not comfortable when someone rejects our offer. But here's the reality check that I had quite a while ago. If I sit around waiting for referrals, I don't have a strategy. I'm just praying to God कि भाई मेरा business को एक और runway मिल जाए या फिर कहीं से मेरे पास एक और business आ जाए. Also, if you're just starting out, you probably don't have any clients, तो referrals के भी कोई scene नहीं होते हैं. And outreach is just taking matter into your own hands, so you actually take control of your income. Today, I'm going to deep dive and I'm going to walk you through the whole outreach process, from the mindset shift that you need as a beginner to the actual mechanics of writing an email, all the way to the advance. And trust me, once you complete this video, you probably don't need any other video on outreach because सब लोग अपना एक दो एलिमेंट इधर उधर ऐड करते हैं, बट दिस इज द फंडामेंटल दैट एवरीवन यूजेस, नो मैटर वो 5 फिगर 6 फिगर या 7 फिगर फ्रीलांसर ही क्यों ना हो. It's gonna be a long one. Take a drink, take notes. Let's get started. All right, a quick introduction. If you're a beginner, it's very much possible that you might have to work for free because you don't have any proof of work or testimonials. अगर तुम अपना ऑनलाइन बिजनेस जस्ट स्टार्ट कर रहे हो और मैं कोई प्रोस्पेक्ट हूँ तुम्हारा, जिसे तुम्हारे सर्विस की जरूरत है, और आई कैन अफोर्ड टू पे फॉर द सर्विस, why would I trust you when you have no experience and no testimonials? So in that situation, वहां पे तुम्हें विन विन सिचुएशन बनानी होती है, so that you offer me a free trial, maybe a week trial, and then we can start with the paying paid projects. But till then, एक विन विन सिचुएशन बनानी होती है, एंड उसके लिए तुम्हें फ्री में थोड़ा काम करना पड़ता है, विच इज फाइन. ऑलराइट, then also the online space doesn't reward intentions, it rewards outcome. If you cannot add value, you get ignored. I've talked about this earlier also in my Instagram reels. No matter तुम्हारी स्किल कितनी भी अच्छी हो, बट अगर तुम मुझे डिजायर्ड आउटकम नहीं लाके दे पा रहे हो, देन इट्स यूजलेस फॉर मी. सी, तुम्हारा इंटेंशन बहुत अच्छा हो सकता है, तुम्हारी स्किल भी एक हद तक अच्छी हो सकती है, बट अगर मुझे आउटकम नहीं मिल रहा है, वो मेरे किसी काम की नहीं है. एंड ऑल्सो ये डायरेक्टली कोरिलेटेड होते हैं. अगर तुम्हारी स्किल अच्छी है तो तुम मुझे रिजल्ट्स भी लाके दे पाओगे. सो अगर तुम्हारे पास स्किल नहीं है, डू नॉट ट्राई टू रीच आउट टू मी या फिर किसी और प्रोस्पेक्ट को, बिकॉज पहले तुम्हें स्किल पे काम करने की जरूरत है, उसके बाद तुम रीच आउट या फिर आउटरीच के वीडियोस देख सकते हो. Also, most of the beginners suffer from entitlement. They think the world owes them to give a chance if they know any skill, and it doesn't work like that. Why would the other person trust you with his money and his time when he can afford to pay for the service? Again, अगर तुम बिगनर फ्रीलांसर हो, इतना एंटाइटलमेंट आई सी एवरीवेयर की एंटाइटलमेंट होता है कि आई हैव द स्किल, मेरे को अब स्किल आती है, अब मेरे को काम मिल जाना चाहिए. इट डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट. मार्केट में बहुत लोग हैं जिनको स्किल आती है, एंड बहुत लोग खाली भी बैठे हैं. सो वॉट यू नीड इज ग्रिट, एंड एंटाइटलमेंट को छोड़ दो. लेट्स स्टार्ट. योर फर्स्ट आउटरीच इज गोइंग टू बी योर टफेस्ट, सो आई रिकमेंड आज ही एक मैसेज कहीं ना कहीं अपने प्रिफर्ड क्लाइंट को डाल दो, सो दैट यू स्टार्ट. बिकॉज मेरे को पर्सनली 6 महीने लग गए थे अपना फर्स्ट मैसेज डालने में. आई हैड ऑल द इन्फॉर्मेशन इन द वर्ल्ड, मेरे को आउटरीच पता था कैसे करनी है, आई हैड द स्किल्स जो मेरे को सर्विस के फॉर्म में देनी थी, बट आई वॉज सो हेजिटेंट टू रीच आउट, एंड रिजेक्शन से इतना डर रहा था कि मैंने 6 महीने तक कोई मैसेज ही नहीं करा. सो दैट्स वाई द लॉन्गर यू वेट, the worse it will get. Also, when you're reaching out, वॉल्यूम इज योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड। सी, आउटरीच दो तरीके की होती है, एक हाइपर टारगेटेड आउटरीच और एक मास आउटरीच। हाइपर टारगेटेड आउटरीच, इट्स अ strategy that focuses on delivering extremely personalized messages to a narrow, precisely defined audience. Mass outreach, it's a strategy that focuses on sending a large volume of communications to a broad audience, often using standardized messages to achieve a wide reach quickly and efficiently. When you're doing hyper targeted outreach, तुम किसी एक पर्टिकुलर पर्सन के बारे में पूरी रिसर्च करते हो एंड देन उसे आउटरीच मैसेज सेंड करते हो। हाइपर टारगेटेड आउटरीच में तुम अराउंड 50 to 100 मैक्स एक दिन में कर सकते हो अगर तुम अकेले हो। मास आउटरीच में तुम यही चीज 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 एक दिन में लोगों को रीच आउट कर सकते हो यूजिंग डिफरेंट AI tools. So when you're starting your outreach, I want you to keep it simple. I want you to be consistent. I want you to maintain a certain volume. What I mean by this is, when you're starting out, don't overcomplicate your outreach. Like you do not need to buy G Suite या फिर कोई AI software को use करना. You have to be consistent. 1 या 2 महीने heads down बस outreach करनी है. And volume, you have to reach out to a minimum of 30 to 50 people every day. If you're just starting out, 10 people is fine, but in a week start reaching out to almost 30 to 50 people every day. This video will only talk about hyper targeted outreach. Where can you reach out to your prospects? Gmail, hands down the best method. LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. All right, what I mean by this is, try doing omnipresence outreach if you're going for hyper targeted method. So what is omnipresence outreach? When you reach out to your prospects on all different platforms where you can find them. For example, if I find someone, अगर मेरे prospect का नाम Alex है, तो Alex को मैं mail करता हूँ, and then I find Alex on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and I message him there also. So that is omnipresence outreach. उससे मेरे मैसेज की विजिबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है। मे बी उसने जीमेल ना चेक किया हो बट लिंक्डइन या ट्विटर पे मेरा मैसेज देख ले, एंड इट increases my odds of getting him onboarded as my client, right? So mainly जो ये outreach होगी तुम्हारी 3 phases में होगी. So phase 1, let's talk about the step everyone skips: research. You cannot just buy a list of 10,000 random emails and blast them. That's spam, and we don't want to be a spammer. You need an ICP, ideal client profile. When you're reaching out, ICP क्या होती है? It's your ideal client profile. जो तुम्हारा ideal client है वो कैसा लगेगा? Small businesses is not an ICP. If you're a website designer and you say मैं small businesses के लिए website बनाता हूँ, it's not your ICP. ICP काफी narrow and niched होती है. Like dentist, if you make website for dentists, it's better. And if you make website for dentists who are based in Chicago, who have outdated websites that aren't mobile friendly and are running Google ads dropping to that page, that is an ICP. The narrower your niche, the easier your outreach becomes. Why? Because you know exactly what their problems are before you even talk to them. And where do you find them? LinkedIn is the gold mine. Use Sales Navigator if you can afford it. Like, but free research is okay too, with good filters. Google Maps. If you target local businesses, just scroll through maps. Industry specific dictionaries like Clutch or G2 is fine. Personally, I haven't used Clutch or G2, so मेरे को नहीं पता है वो कैसे काम करती हैं. I just heard my friend using them, and if it works for him, it might as well work for you. So अगर मैं रोज ही 50-100 लोगों को रीच आउट कर रहा हूँ, so how do I track them? I keep it simple. A notion sheet, a company name. एक नोशन शीट बना लो जिसमें उसका कंपनी नेम हो, कॉन्टैक्ट पर्सन हो, their role in the company, email address, LinkedIn URL, Instagram link, YouTube का link, and a column for observation notes, last connected, number of follow-ups, or something unique about them I found during my research. Build a list of 50 quality prospects, not 500 bad ones, 50 great ones. हमें उस लिस्ट को भरना नहीं है रैंडम नेम से, हमें अपने आईसीपी को ढूंढना है एंड सिर्फ उन्हीं का नाम उस कस्टमर सीआरएम लिस्ट में डालना है. आई विल शो यू. दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ माय फर्स्ट सीआरएम. लाइक दिस इज व्हाट वी यूज इन आवर एजेंसी. तो हाउ डज दिस वर्क इज, यहाँ पे prospect का नाम आ जाएगा. Here you can add his email, the first date you reached out to him, And follow-up steps. This is day zero of follow-up. Then I'll follow up after then I'll follow up after 2 days, then after 5 days and 10 days. So number of follow-ups done. His Instagram link, LinkedIn link, next follow-up date, notes, something that we had talked about in our last conversation, or something unique I found about, or something unique I found about him during research, phone number, status, website link, X, YouTube. All right. So this is what a basic CRM looks like. So once we are done with our list, we have around 50 people here. Then we can start with writing the messages. So, all right. So you have the list. Now the terrifying part, writing the email. I'm going to give you the framework that works right now. It changes over time, but जो psychology है वो same रहती है. And the biggest mistake, making the email about you. Nobody cares about your portfolio yet. Nobody cares that you're a passionate graphic designer. Graphic designer, just a second. They care about themselves, their problems and their money. So when you're reaching out, अगर मैं ऐसे reach out करूँ कि hey Alex, this is my portfolio, I would like to work for you. Nobody cares. मेरा क्या फायदा हो रहा है? Are you saving me time? Are you saving me money? Are you making me more money? That is what your email should look like. For example, hey Alex, I can help you make 10x more amount of money that you're making right now. I You immediately have my attention. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर कोई स्क्रिप्ट राइटर है एंड वो मेरे पास आए कल को बोले कि हे अक्षर दिस इज माय पोर्टफोलियो आई राइट स्क्रिप्ट्स आई डोंट केयर मेरे को नहीं चाहिए तुम्हारी सर्विस बट इफ यू कम टू मी एंड यू टेल मी दैट आई यू कैन हेल्प मी सेव 10+ hours a month because you can write my scripts, maybe I'll be interested because that is how वहां पे मुझे मेरा बेनिफिट दिख रहा है. You get my point? So what we don't want to do is write emails through chat gpt. That is very obvious. अगर तुम AI का यूज कर रहे हो, ओवन मॉडल गुड ईमेल लिख ले, ओवन मॉडल अच्छे ईमेल लिख लेता है, बट what you can use chat gpt for is you can actually test the structure of your email and your sentence. It does wonderful job there. So here's the anatomy of writing a good cold email. It mainly has 4 parts. The subject line. Its only job is to get the email opened, keep it boring, internal, or curiosity inducing. So, this is a very bad email. Subject line. This is a very bad subject line. Graphic design services for my company or whatever. It goes to instant archive. No subject line is fine, it could work. Don't try using just curious. If you're there to sell them something, it's very clear. Be upfront about it. अगर तुम वहां पे कुछ सेल करने जा रहे हो and you start your email just curious that just curious about your work, do not do that because mostly लोगों को पता होता है you are there to sell them something and वो email instant archive में चला जाता है. Don't add your first name into your email. Keep it short, 5 to 6 word, it's fine. Don't keep your subject line very long because वो भी miss हो जाता है while reading emails. The hook. Now here's where the personalization comes into play. तुमने सुना होगा काफी बार इंस्टाग्राम रील्स पे या फिर यूट्यूब वीडियोस में पीपल टॉकिंग अबाउट पर्सनलाइजेशन इन द ईमेल. तो हाउ डू वी एक्चुअली पर्सनलाइज द ईमेल? दिस प्रूव्स दैट यू आरंट अ mention something specific you found in your research. For example, hey Sarah, got your interview on Marketing Heroes podcast last week. Loved your point about scaling via TikTok. That took 5 minutes of research, but it buys you their attention. Include screenshots of company websites or where the problem lies and what you can do to improve. For example, this is a screenshot of my company website. If you include this while writing an email to me, you will immediately have my attention. And I would want to see what you have to talk about, right? अब यहाँ पे आता है वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन थर्ड पार्ट में. अगर एक और एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं इसका. अगर तुम एक थंबनेल डिजाइनर हो एंड तुम मेरे यूट्यूब वीडियोस के थंबनेल बना के मेरे को भेजते हो, दैट विल ऑल्सो गेट माई अटेंशन, राइट? अगर तुम मेरे पुराने थंबनेल्स जो अच्छे नहीं है और तुम उसे इम्प्रूव करके भेजते हो, दैट विल गेट माई अटेंशन. या सो बैक टू थर्ड पॉइंट. थर्ड पॉइंट में आता है अब वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन क्या होता है. कनेक्ट योर ऑब्जर्वेशन टू द प्रॉब्लम यू सॉल्व. For example, while looking at your site, I noticed your recent blog posts have amazing content, but they aren't formatted for easy reading on mobile. you're likely losing a lot of traffic because of that. अपना वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन और उनका लॉस जो तुम उधर दिखाओगे कि तुम्हारे वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन अगर उनके पास नहीं है तो उन्हें किस चीज का लॉस हो रहा है, दैट इज what we do here. For example, X is great, but for some reason, Y is not happening. Is that true? For example, if I'm a thumbnail designer, I would say your thumbnails are great, but for some reason, you're not getting as many clicks as you want in your videos. So तुम उनका CTR increase करोगे. Is that true? You get my point. उसके बाद एक सॉफ्ट CTA डाल दो. Do not ask for a 30-minute meeting in the first call. फर्स्ट कॉल पे सेल करने की कोशिश मत करो. यू आर जस्ट देयर टू वार्म अप द लीड और उसको वैल्यू प्रोवाइड करने, so that the lead knows that you know what you're talking about, right? Do not ask for a 30-minute meeting in the first email. That's asking for marriage on the first date. Ask for permission to send value. Are you open to me sending over a 2-minute quick video showing how we could fix the formatting of to boost retention? Always try to offer something for free. अगर तुम एक content strategist हो या फिर कोई भी, तो मे बी एक free content audit, एक free profile audit, या फिर a free thumbnail फिर from thumbnail designer. सी यहाँ पे अपने प्रोस्पेक्ट से हमारा जो मेन गोल होता है वो यस बुलवाने का है, कि वो यस बोले एंड वी सेल देम आवर वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन, जिससे उसे हमारी स्किल का पता चले एंड ही नोज दैट वी नो व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. वाओ, ही नोज दैट वी नो. वाओ, फ्रेंड्स देखे होंगे. एनीवेज, phase 3, advanced tactics. Now if you do all of this, you'll be ahead of 90% of freelancers. Now let's talk about the top 10%. So वही वाली बात है, सब लोग अपनी अपनी एक दो पर्सनलाइज्ड टैक्टिक्स यूज करते हैं. Here are some tactics that I use personally. The multi-touch point warm-up. Cold email is hard. Lukewarm email is easier. Before I email a high-value prospect, I stalk them professionally. I'll find them on LinkedIn. I'll follow them. I'll comment genuinely on 2 or 3 of their recent posts over a week. And then I send the email. And the email starts with any of their recent posts. Since I've been actively engaging with their content past few weeks, it will be easy for him to recognize me. So अगर मैं किसी, मेरा कोई बहुत ही स्पेशल प्रोस्पेक्ट है जिसको मेरे को सेल करना है, मे बी ड्रीम प्रोस्पेक्ट है, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ कि मैं उनके लिंक्डइन पे जाऊंगा, उनको फ्रेंड बनाऊंगा एंड उनकी पोस्ट पे कमेंट करूंगा ओवर 2-3 वीक्स, सो दैट दे रिकग्नाइज मी. तो जब मैं उन्हें ईमेल करूं, वो ईमेल सेल्सी साउंड ना हो, वो ईमेल उनके लास्ट पोस्ट के बारे में हो, सो दैट दे हैव माय अटेंशन. सडनली आई एम नॉट अ स्ट्रेंजर टू देम. I'm that person from the LinkedIn. My open rates skyrocket when I do this. So suddenly when they see my email, I'm not some stranger selling my service. I'm someone from the LinkedIn that they know because I had been actively engaging with their content for the past few weeks. And this takes time, which is why you do only for your top tier prospects, right? सबके लिए नहीं कर रहे हैं, मे बी 2 या 3 या 10 लोगों के लिए मैक्स. All right, advanced tactic number 2, the Loom video approach. Remember the CTA we mentioned? अभी हमने जब phase 2 में थे, हमने last point में CTA बोला था, call to action देना है हमें, maybe value send करनी है. If they say yes, you send a Loom video, keep it under 3 minutes, show their website, show their competitors' website, point out the gaps that they're missing in their content, and briefly explain how you fix it. Don't try to sell them here. तुम्हारा काम यहाँ पे कुछ बेचना नहीं है, तुम्हें उन्हें सिखाना है एंड शो देम दैट यू नो योर स्टफ विजुअली एंड इट्स इनक्रेडिबली पावरफुल, राइट? एडवांस टैक्टिक नंबर 3, द फॉलो अप सीक्वेंस. दिस इज वेयर द मनी इज, राइट? तुम एक तरफ इस वाली टैक्टिक को रख दो और एक तरफ इस पूरी इंफॉर्मेशन को रख दो, ठीक है? आई कैन नॉट एम्फसाइज ऑन दिस एनफ. फॉलो अप सीक्वेंस. This is where everyone's fails. They send one email, get ghosted, and give up. 50% of my deals come from third or fourth follow-up. People are busy, and their inbox is a disaster zone. They aren't ignoring your messages. High chances are that they forgot about your email. So होता क्या है कि तुमने कोई टेक्स्ट करा एंड प्रोस्पेक्ट इतने बिजी होते हैं कि उन्होंने देख नहीं पाए, उन्होंने देखा या फिर नहीं देख पाए. फर्स्ट ईमेल्स की खुलने की प्रोबेबिलिटी काफी कम होती है. So you follow up that prospect so that you keep showing up your name there in their inbox and they finally see what you have to sell or what you have to offer. So you keep following up until they say yes or fuck off. ऑलराइट, अगर इन दोनों में से कोई रिप्लाई नहीं आ रहा है, यू कीप फॉलोइंग अप दैट प्रोस्पेक्ट. Here's the advanced follow-up sequence. Day 1 हम इनिशियल पर्सनलाइज्ड ईमेल भेजेंगे. डे 3 डे 3 एक क्विक बम्प की तरह भेजेंगे, लाइक हे एलेक्स, जस्ट फ्लोटिंग दिस बैक टू द टॉप ऑफ योर इनबॉक्स. Day 7 a value add email. Send them a relevant article or a tiny free tip related to their business. No ask, just saw this and thought of you. वही वाली बात है कि तुमने वैल्यू ऐड करी, मे बी कॉन्टेंट ऑडिट सेंड कर दिया, फिर थंबने बेटर थंबनेल डिजाइन कर दिया. दे डे 10 द VSL और फ्री कंटेंट एडिट और लूम वीडियो, सॉरी, या. तो डे 7 में तुमने वैल्यू ऐड करी एंड उनको कोई टिप्स दी, एंड डे 10 में तुमने VSL बनाया या एक फ्री कंटेंट ऑडिट उन्हीं के कंटेंट का, या फिर एक फ्री ऑडिट उन्हीं की वेबसाइट का दिया, सो दैट दे नो व्हाट आर द गैप्स. And again, I cannot emphasize on this enough because the real money is in the follow-ups. Follow up religiously like your life depends on it. Again, तुम इस एडवांस टैक्टिक नंबर थ्री को और इस पूरी इंफॉर्मेशन को एक जगह रख दो, और दूसरी जगह एडवांस टैक्टिक नंबर 3 को रखो. I'll still I would still advise you to go with 3 because the real money is here, right? Conclusions and reality check. Look, I know I just threw a lot of information at you. The reality here is one reality check to close this out. You can do everything right, perfect list, amazing personalization, great videos. So this is the last part of the video, conclusion and one reality check. Look, I just threw a lot at you. Here's the reality check to close this out. You can do everything right, perfect list, amazing personalization, great video, and you'll still hear no more often than you hear yes. Or worse, you will hear absolutely nothing. And what you need to understand is that this is the part of the game. अगर तुम freelancing और outreach करने जा रहे हो, this is the game. का most of the times तुम्हारे email का कोई reply नहीं करेगा. If you send 1,000 hyper personalized messages, then you should get at least of 10 messages, and the ideal range is 100. If you get 100 messages, you've hit the jackpot. So you'll get somewhere in the middle because 10 is too less and 100 is too much. Out of a thousand hyper, you have to build the muscle of handling rejection. Every no gets you closer to the client. Don't try to do 50 emails today. Commit to sending 5 personalized emails every single day before you do anything else. In a week, at least start hitting 50 emails a day. It took me around 3 to 4 months of sending 50 to 100 messages every day to sign my first client. But once it happened, it changed my life. If you do everything right, it's gonna happen for you too. Be patient, consistent, and resilient. Also, let me know if you need a video on lead generation because ये वीडियो काफी लंबी हो गई थी and most of you were texting me about outreach कि outreach कैसे करते हैं. That's why I made this video. I could make a video on lead generation too.